She's been called the Sweetheart Swindler, a caregiver ripping off the elderly. Tonight, our 5 on Your Side investigation, Unprotected, continues into home health aides and the agencies they work for.
5 on Your Side Chief Investigator Ron Regan joins us now. And Ron, you've uncovered how agencies can hire crooks and nobody's watching.
Well, we found an alarming lack of regulation and oversight when it comes to caregivers coming into your home, allowing both agencies and those they hire to fly under the radar. Rosa Rideout was 83 and needed a caregiver, a choice that can place your loved one at risk.
I was just totally alarmed because we hired her through an agency.
Alarmed because within weeks,
Mother was asking for money regularly, every couple of weeks.
Thousands of dollars unaccounted for. What did you do?
Just did a simple Google search.
A Google search?
Yeah, and it came up with this, she's known as a Sweetheart Swindler.
Tanya Weiss is the Sweetheart Swindler, a caregiver with a secret. Tanya, how are you? I can ask you a few questions, Tanya.
Why did you be here?
They hired her and had her in my mom's house at 2 o'clock.
In a matter of hours?
Yeah, 2 hours. I mean, for an interview, to be hired, and she was in my mom's house.
A caregiver with a history of fleecing the elderly. Convictions in Florida and Ohio.
Cold-hearted. I mean, she could take somebody's money and leave them homeless.
Dale Gillette spent years investigating Weiss.
She told me it wasn't so much about the money as it was a challenge how much money she could get.
It's really a scary thing.
Weiss was not charged with a crime in Rideout's case, but the family sued Nightingale Home Support and Care in Lake County and was awarded an undisclosed settlement that was never paid, alleging it failed to perform a criminal background check. So what kind of agency would do that?
My name is Stella Nsong.
Stella Nsong, a registered nurse with no history of discipline, is the agency's owner. It's one of hundreds across Ohio that's strictly private pay, no Medicare or Medicaid reimbursement. That means no regulations and no inspections, leaving you in the dark.
I think I used the term underground, the underground market.
That's why a national association representing home health care agencies is pushing for tougher standards.
You need a license to catch a trout in every state in the country, but you don't need a license to take care of a senior.
What does that allow?
It allows somebody like Tanya or anybody else to move to another county or another state, move in, and nobody knows that she's even there working.
Nsong also promotes other online enterprises, like her 6 figures Nurse Academy.
Welcome to launch your agency in a weekend.
Promotional videos
I am the go-to person.
that attempt to convince you
This is the place for all your answers.
she's a recognized expert you can trust.
That nurses can get rich without winning the lottery.
And while we found no complaints involving these enterprises, we did find this. An assisted living center that Nsong founded was shut down by the Ohio Department of Health. Plus, 17 Nightingale employees claimed Nsong failed to pay them, like Amber Boykin, hired without a shred of experience.
I never worked as a home health aide. I know the materials to be a home health aide, but I never actually had a job doing a home health aide.
Boykin's case is now being settled. For the remaining 16, a federal judge ordered $11,000 in back pay. This went on for weeks.
Went on for weeks.
And for weeks you weren't paid.
Yeah, for weeks I wasn't paid.
The very same agency that hired convicted felon Tanya Weiss.
Just like you have a child sexual offender, a monster that preys on a senior.
Sir, why would you be here?
Well, I'd like to ask you about your past history, Tanya. Weiss shut the door. So we went to Nsong's agency for answers. Is Stella here?
She's not.
Can you reach her for us?
I can try to text her, but I believe she's in New Jersey.
We finally found her on this webinar.
I will show you how to get in business for yourself quickly.
Describing how you too can make a salary like hers.
I started with $1,263, and in 36 months I had made over $1 million of gross revenue.
Our producer later reached Ensong by phone, who told us, in Ohio, you do not need any certification, you do not need any special training, you don't need any kind of license if you keep it all private. But under state law, a criminal background check would have disqualified Tanya Weiss from ever being hired.
Weiss had an extensive criminal background, and how did she wind up being hired by you?
Goodbye.
Ensong hung up.
You need to know that you can trust them, and it's really a scary thing.
Well, even more alarming, of 800 other agencies that are tracked under Medicare and Medicaid, fully half have no subsequent survey or inspection records. I'm Chief Investigator Ron Regan.